What up, y'all? It's your boy Infamous, becoming people, welcome back. For this video, I'm definitely gonna review Alvin the Chipmunk meets Frankenstein and meet the Wolfman. Like, share, and subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check me on DNR. The links to everything down below. And guys, if you want to get my videos before they even hit YouTube, head over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description. Now, let's begin. The movie starts out in Europe somewhere, and pretty much Frankenstein's monster is causing damage, and is being chased down by the villagers. He's being chased all over the village, and while Frankenstein and the villagers running through the graveyard, the Dr. Frankenstein pretty much was digging up a new corpse, and then he realized the monster is being chased down and he needs to head back home. Frankenstein's monster went inside the castle, whatever laboratory thing, and pretty much the villagers managed to find him there. And the doctor pretty much showed up and pretty much told him shoo. The villagers ran off and Dr. Frankenstein went to the castle and pretty much was talking to the monster, hey, they're gonna be watching us from now on and we gotta get up out of here. So pretty much he took Frankenstein apart, unscrewed his head. So they packed up and left shop. Later on, some sort of theme park castle. Frankenstein's monster? Well, there was a dude in a Frankenstein costume who was trying to scare this this woman and this kid. And he kind of messed up scaring them, and then they kind of left. The mom pretty much told this dude named Mr. Yesman, he's just kind of in charge of this whole theme park. And Yesman pretty much told the dude in the Frankenstein costume to hand over the costume. He's fired. He needed to go back to playing the mascot. It's some sort of animated rodent, I guess. And he told him that he hired Dr. Frankenstein to work at the castle and stuff, and pretty much make the whole thing scary and stuff. While the mom and the kid pretty much were walking around the theme park. The kid wanted to see Alvin and the Chipmunks perform their new show at the theme park. It's a pretty cool song. It's called Things Out There. Bro, it is pretty good. After the show was over, Alvin was really excited and so eager to go to this thing called Dragonland, where pretty much is a new roller coaster that he wanted to go on. Simon did try to tell him Alvin, we're not going to the Dragonland. We gotta make sure that we actually stay on schedule because our show's gonna be at least in a couple hours or so. But then Alvin told him hey, wait, we got a whole hour to kill. We can just go around, go on that ride real quick, and we'll be right back. Later on, Yesman was pretty much going around the park, making sure everything is going smooth. Then eventually, Dr. Frankenstein actually meet Yesman, and pretty much drove him to the castle, where pretty much Dr. Frankenstein kind of scared off the guests for a little bit. Alvin, Simon, and Theodore was walking around the theme park, and pretty much decided to take the bus to Dragonland. Things kind of went a little sideways and a little south because Alvin kind of took over the bus and pretty much went on a high-speed chase or something, and it ended up with them pretty much getting kicked off of the bus. Yesman was on the phone with Dave because the chipmunks kind of missed the show, and pretty much Dave was trying to tell him they're professionals. It's not like them for them to be late. He pretty much hanged up and pretty much went over to the theme park trying to find them. Later, Yesman pretty much went to the castle where Dr. Frankenstein was at, and pretty much he was surprised they managed to get the whole laboratory and everything set up already that quick and that fast. And Yesman already left. The security guard already locked up everything for the night. And pretty much the chipmunk was walking around, and they found out their show was canceled, and they were starting to freak out. Simon told them hey, we'll find a phone, call Dave, and pretty much he'll pick us up and get us out of here. Dave pretty much showed up looking for them, trying to find them within the park. Well, the chipmunks were in the phone booth trying to call Dave. They didn't get no answer. Then they realized someone is still here. Dr. Frankenstein is in the castle. The chipmunks went inside the castle and pretty much was watching Dr. Frankenstein bring his monster to life. Then the monster actually came to life, and Dr. Frankenstein pretty much said his iconic line.
My baby's alive!
Alright guys, come speed this up. So pretty much the doctor found out that the chipmunks already knew about this. He already sent the monster after them. And they've been running this whole time. The chipmunks managed to make it to Dragonland. They went to Dragonland. They managed to find a phone, but it accidentally led the monster to them. They end up going on a roller coaster ride on Dragonland. The monster was still chasing them. Back at the chipmunk's house, Dave pretty much called the cops and pretty much told them the kids were missing. And he was describing everything to them. Eventually the chipmunks came in and tried to tell Dave everything that happened, but David wasn't having that, so he pretty much sent them to their room to like go to sleep. Then we got like a little montage about like what they would do if like the monsters like came into the room and stuff. Later at the amusement park, the doctor found out like the monster was loose and he had to like go find him. Frankenstein's monster like made it to like Alvin the chipmunk's house. The monster had like Theodore's teddy bear that he kind of like left during the whole chase scene, and he wanted to give it back to him. The monster did try to like climb up to like his room and like try to like give it to Theodore, but Theodore kind of like woke up and the monster kind of fell out of the tree. Then the monster gave Theodore like his teddy bear, and the monster and like Theodore became best friends. Dave already told the boys that he's gonna like try to like get like that like big premiere again because they missed the show last time. Eventually the chipmunks realized that like, hey, the monster is not as bad as they think it is. He just need a friend. So they pretty much like had a little montage about like them like teaching him like how to be a good friend and how to share and stuff. They managed to like get like Mr. Guessman to like say yes to like actually like letting the chipmunks perform. Then Dr. Frankenstein kidnapped Alvin and tried to like turn him into like some weird creature and stuff. Simon, Theodore, and Frankenstein pretty much like came in there and rescued Alvin, but it's already too late. Dr. Frankenstein already did experiments, and like Alvin like went a little crazy, doing like some crazy cartoonish stuff. Eventually like everyone in the crowd that was like at the event pretty much was like chasing like Frankenstein around, and pretty much Theodore was like telling them like, hey, don't judge his books by its cover. Dr. Frankenstein like got trapped in the Sammy Squirrel costume, and Frankenstein ended up like working at the theme park. Then the movie was over. Then they meet the Wolfman. The movie starts out with pretty much Alvin having a dream. He was like being chased down. He was being chased down by a werewolf, and just before like the werewolf could like hit him, he woke up screaming, and he pretty much like woke everybody up in the house. Alvin told Theodore it was a Wolfman. Simon's been keeping track of like how many nightmares he's been having, and he's been having like more like Wolfman nightmares than like the rest of the other monsters. The reason why he's like freaked out is because of like their new neighbor, Mr. Talbot, because he thought his dog was howling every night, which scares him. But then Dave came into the room and told him like, hey, you've been watching too much like monster movies, and this is getting pretty out of hand. And Dave told him to go back to bed. The next morning, pretty much Dave was like making breakfast, pretty much like talking about like how's the school play going. You see, the chipmunks are pretty much doing a school play on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Theodore was trying to like get out of school by like pretending to be sick or something, but Dave kind of like caught on to that because he kind of like put like oatmeal on like the thermometer thing. Dave already gave them their lunch and sent them to school. After school, pretty much like the kids were rehearsing for like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde play. Alvin was like playing Mr. Hyde. Then Alvin like started to drink like the formula that turns Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but he ended up like choking and pretty much was like mad at Simon, like, what the heck did you put in this thing? Then the director kind of like came up and pretty much like told him his name's Mr. Rochelle. He been like trying to like tell and remind him that, hey, stay in character. That's like one of the most fundamental things about being an actor. Simon pretty much told Alvin it was nothing but like colored water. Then he kind of like put some pink stuff from his thermos. Alvin told him that he kind of got like, from Lost and Found, and he hasn't like seen it in a couple months, so yeah. Mr. Rochelle was really frustrated, so he pretty much told everyone to take it from the top. Then he like talked to Theodore about like, hey, like, you have to like come louder with the thunder. Then eventually like Theodore's bully showed up. Theodore's been bullied by Nathan. He's been like stealing his lunch and like picking on him a lot. Nathan threatened Theodore again, and he accidentally bumped into Eleanor, and like he said sorry. Eleanor pretty much told him like, hey, don't let Nathan bully you. Mr. Rochelle was like pouring like another like round of coffee and like was drinking it. Alvin told him like come up with an idea. Instead of like using like the chemicals that Simon pretty much came up with, why don't he just like use a chemistry set they got from this woman named Madame Rhea? She's this like TV star or something that Alvin likes. Then Alvin started mixing up the chemicals, and Simon noticed this, and he tried to like tell Alvin to like, hey, don't mess up the chemicals, man. You shouldn't do that. But then Alvin kind of like took the chemicals and mixed them anyway, and it caused like a little explosion. Then Dave pretty much was at home, and he felt like the explosion happened, and he noticed that it came from school. Then he looked to his phone and hoped that it didn't ring, but it did anyway. He got like a call from the principal to like come down to the school, Principal Milliken. Dave was at the principal's office and pretty much like told her like he's sorry about like the whole like explosion thing. Principal Milliken pretty much told him that like the school like already like put like some sort of funding, some sort of money inside in case there was an incident caused by Alvin. But then she told Dave that she's about to retire. Then Dave said this.
You don't look a day over 50.
I'm 31!
Oh.
Yeah, it was at this moment he knew he messed up. Now that Dave's here, pretty much like Principal Milliken wanted to talk to him about Theodore and told him to like come to the auditorium. They made it to the auditorium. The whole auditorium was pretty much like covered in goo. And pretty much the students were doing everything they can to like clean it up. Then Dave like see like Nathan bullying like Theodore. Nathan was planning to like shoot like Theodore with some like slime, but Alvin kind of like dropped some steak weights on him, causing it to ricochet and probably hit him in the head. Later on that night, the chipmunks and the chipmunks were pretty much like walking home from school. It was really dark outside, and they were like talking about like Nathan, like why does Nathan like bully Theodore so much? Then Alvin started to like freak out because it's starting to get like a really windy and really cold and really dark outside. They started to freak out. Then the wind probably like rushed in like really hard, and they all screamed monster and they ran back home. The chipmunks were running through like Mr. Talbot's like what was it like specimen of aconite that he had planted in his yard, and like ran to the house. Dave pretty much asked him what's going on. Alvin was being like very scared and very weirded out, and he was like seeing like something's out there. Then eventually they heard a knock on the door, and it was Mr. Talbot. Mr. Talbot pretty much told Dave that the kids pretty much ran over his thing of aconite, and like Alvin has been like keeping him up from like the whole like screaming in the middle of the night because of nightmares. Dave told him that they saw something, and like Talbot like grabbed him and asked him like what did they see? Did they see anything? And Mr. Talbot noticed that like the moon is coming up, and he pretty much told him that he had to go. But before he even left, he told Dave that his lasagna was burning. Alright, to speed things up. The chipmunks were pretty much watching TV, and they were watching Madame Reyes. Madame Reyes was like, what was it, this TV show personality that Alvin liked. She was trying to like sell this books about monster facts, and there was like some sort of amulet that came with it. Then Alvin started getting all paranoid and like accused like Mr. Talbot of being like the creature. Then like Simon pointed out the fact that like he'd been accusing everyone of being like a monster all the time. They pretty much had enough and pretty much like decided that he's gonna like take all of Alvin's monster stuff and like take him out of the play. Mr. Rousseau was like really upset about this whole thing because Alvin was really good at being Mr. Hyde. Principal Milliken suggested they use Theodore instead, and Theodore was like very nervous and kind of was like very insecure and wondering if he's like can actually do it. Alvin pretty much like went a little insane because like he couldn't do the monster stuff. Then like the monster books and monster facts they kind of ordered from Madame Reyes like show came in, and Alvin was reading through the book and realized that like Mr. Talbot is actually a werewolf for real. Someone pretty much made a little deal with Alvin. If they cannot prove like that like Mr. Talbot is like really a werewolf, then like Alvin got the craziness. Theodore went over to Eleanor's house to like give her like a little necklace, and on his way home like Theodore like got like bit by something. Next morning Theodore pretty much like changed, like he became an all different person. He became faster, stronger, and he looks a little different now. And he's starting to become really good at being scary. Eventually Alvin and Simon realized that like Theodore is actually a werewolf for real. Eventually Theodore started to get like a little bit out of control, so they pretty much like went to like Madame Ray's studio to like find her and get like a little more answers. They found Ray and pretty much like told her about like the whole situation. Theodore is like transforming like every single night, not without the full moon. Ray pretty much told him that they had to kill Theodore with a silver bullet, but she also told him that if they bop him something silver, but they gotta do it before the next full moon, because if they don't, Theodore remains like a werewolf permanently. And we found out that the next full moon is on the night of school play. Simon was looking at Theodore's blood and trying to like figure out what's going on with him. Alvin told like Simon that he's gonna get like Calvin's cane to pop Theodore with it, but things kind of went sideways and Alvin kind of like broke it. On the night of the school play, pretty much like Alvin and Simon were pretty much like doing the play as normal. The day found out like that Mr. Talbot is actually a werewolf for real, and he's going down to the school. Him and Theodore kind of like had like a little werewolf fight. Theodore bit him and kind of like reversed like the process, curing them both. In the end, everyone celebrated and the movie was over. Okay, this is normally the part where I normally do my commentary, but this video is already long as it is, so I'm just gonna like leave it here, guys. Like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check me out on DNR. Links to everything down below. And guys, comment subscribe, guys. I mean, it's difficult, like, you know, like, what was it, making videos and making content regularly, but thanks for the patience, guys. I mean, I really do appreciate it, man. And shout out to all my day one people. Alright, Boy, out.